Bills, happy Monday to you. Happy football Monday to you. Did you see that quarterback battle between Joey B and Mahomes? Wow, what a game. What an amazing quarterback game that was. Unbelievable. Back and forth. Two superstar quarterbacks. Unbelievable. We'll get to that a little bit later. That was an iconic game. Iconic. By the way, Joey B is rapidly moving up the MVP list. Outdueling Mahomes, unbelievable. 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 But the game that Big Sills covers and the team that we cover here 90% of the time, plus other NFL teams, obviously, are your Philadelphia Eagles. They beat the Titans 35-10. Big Sills takeaways. That was probably the most complete game that the Eagles have played since Minnesota. Pretty much on every single side of the football, including special teams. By the way, this just in. I heard the guys on Sports Take saying coaching should motivate special teams. No, they shouldn't. That's your last opportunity to stay on the club. If that's not motivating enough, you got the wrong fucking guys on your special teams. They probably didn't coach him any differently, but told him that. Hey, you want to be here? You want to eat filet mignon at the NovaCare Center and have shrimp and lobster? If you're on special teams, you better show up Sunday. That's the only motivation you need. That's the only coaching you need. You want to keep eating filet mignon, or do you want to go over start eating White Castle? You better play your ass off. They did. Worst game of the year for the offensive line. That just shows you how much they dominated the Titans. Not a very good football game. I mean, it was just constant mistakes, lack of focus, but they're so good. And by the way, I thought the Titans stopped the run. That's what they do. They're third in the league, and they did it. Devonta Smith and AJ were a factor in this ball game. Titans couldn't cover, and the coaching staff made it a priority to throw the ball, and they were effective throwing the ball. They stopped Derrick Henry. They absolutely did. When Ryan Tannehill, who's on a gimpy ankle, is your leading rusher, they stopped you. Jalen Hurts was great in the ball game. He was. We'll get to him in a second here. He was great. Jonathan Gannon, okay. Your scheme sucks. Your players showed up. Sorry. You will never get me to go off that topic ever. He sucks. His players showed up. I mean, he's just not aggressive, and he's just not a defensive coordinator, in my opinion. He's probably going to make a great head coach. I hate that guy's style. It's a style preference, just like it is with the quarterback. Jalen Hurts is not my style. My style was watching that Cincinnati-Kansas City game. That's the quarterback style. That's more me. TJ Edwards was great. Reed Blankenship was great. Like I said about your special teams, they absolutely stepped up. By the way, I don't believe that the Eagles are playing better than the Cowboys right now. I think the Cowboys are playing better football. That was a complete performance against a good football team. Not taking anything away from it, I think Dallas is playing better. More so, probably 70% of the country outside of Philly thinks the Cowboys are playing better. They played really well yesterday. I'm talking Eagles. It was a complete ball game. And they dominated them. Mike Vrabel and them had no answers. By the numbers now. To even more so show the point of domination here. First downs, 26-11. 11 first downs in an NFL game. If you're the Titans, you had no chance to win that football game against Tennessee with 11 first downs. Absolutely no way you were going to win that game. Cowboys are playing better. Sorry, I mean, you beat the Cooper Rush Cowboys, not the Dak Prescott Cowboys. They look pretty damn good with Dak. Dak is back. Oh, yeah. That Cowboy team looks awesome. Third down didn't need to be a really concern in this game because they dominated at the point of attack the entire ball game. Total yards, 453. Outstanding. Especially since the majority of this came through the air. And the week previous, 363 rushing. It's pretty remarkable on how versatile the Eagle offense is. And I'll say this to you about this. This is the one dynamic that makes Philly completely special. You know what that is? Is that they, without a doubt, are the most versatile team in the league. More so than Kansas City, more so than Buffalo. I mean, they really can beat you on the ground and also in the air, and they did it in consecutive weeks. Oh, by the way, how about that Cowboy team dismantling that Colts team that you guys limped around for 4 quarters with? They crushed that team. They put a 50 burger on them. Woo! Would they put 40 on the Vikings too? Cowboys are playing better ball than you. Total plays, 67-53. Look at this. They held the Titans to 53 plays and 11 first downs. Complete domination. Held the Eagles to 87 yards rushing. Didn't really need to when you're making plays through the air. Titans had 67. Like I said, Tannehill was the leading rusher. Crazy. Penalties. Maybe if you didn't spend so much time on your Christmas album, maybe some of these penalties and some of the focus on your football team would be a little better, but I know there was a Christmas album that they had to get out. It's important to get that Christmas album out. Make sure you get that Christmas album out. By the way, Xander, I missed the chat, I think, by Anton. Can you put that up, please? Because I never want to dismiss those. Henry running for 175 yards. Milk carton, 30. Anton, yes. Now by the numbers, the players. Quarterback. 29-39, 380, 3 touchdowns. He was great. Can't get around it. He was spectacular. Miles Sanders, didn't need him. 10 for 24. Titans stopped the run. Pretty much so. I think the Eagles didn't think they had to throw the ball, nor did they want to throw the ball. Or, run the ball. A.J. Brown. 8 catches, 119 and 2 touchdowns. Devonta Smith now has 4 100-yard games in 29 NFL games. 5 catches for 102 and a touchdown. Tannehill was 14-22, 141 and a touchdown. And as I said, the leading rusher. 3 carries for 34 yards. Yeah, you take a positive out of this. You completely take a positive out of this. It was a good football team. Okay? It was a good football team. It's a well-coached team. It's not a great team, but it's a well-coached football team. Okay? And I was shocked that they dismantled them the way they did. Jalen's playing great football. Has he moved closer in the MVP conversation? Yes. I'll budge on that. He's moved closer. You know, Mahomes loses to a great quarterback, though, who's also a guy who took a team to the Super Bowl. I mean, the Bengals are playing good ball now. And anytime you have not faced a quarterback like Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes this year, and those two guys went back and forth, it was a pretty damn good game. I enjoyed it. Those are NFL quarterbacks. Jalen's a novelty. They'll catch up with it. You can't catch up with drop back. You catch up with this, whatever it is. Hurts can't throw 380 and 3 touchdowns. Mahomes is number 2 in the MVP. Won't matter. We'll see who's right at the end of the day. Right now, you're 12 games into a 17-game season. Okay? We'll see. I could see your comments, Mike Ryan. Yes. Oh, my God. Some of the most disappointing news I got was Jimmy G going down. And still the 49ers beat the shit out of somebody. Hey, you got to like the Niners. Because if the Eagles lose, Jalen, you're finished. If the 49ers lose their quarterback, they're going to still kill people. That's a scary team. See, I look at the glass half filled. They beat a team that was as hot as a fire iron in the Miami Dolphins, and they killed them. They killed them, and I don't even know the quarterback's name. They killed them. How you doing? My boy Jimmy G, I feel for you, son. Damn, dog. I had you too, man. My heart went out for you, man. Really did. Went out for you. How about them Cowboys, though? Boy, are they playing some great, great ball. Holy cow. The Cowboys and Dak, Christmas Eve. Holy shit. Is that going to be a great football game? Derrick Henry, 20 carries, 30 yards. Guys did a great job on him. Guys did a great job. Way to go. Malcolm, way to point it out. Jimmy G, damn. Eagles are going to run the Cowboys. I don't think, why? You didn't run the Colts over. They put a 50 burger on them last night. I think the Cowboys are playing better ball than you. I think they're playing better ball. Great record, though. I'm going to tell you this to you, too. I thought about this before we came on. This is shaping up to be either the greatest year in the history of Philadelphia Eagle football or the biggest disappointment in the history of Philadelphia Eagle football. It's Super Bowl or nothing here. You either win it or this will be the biggest disaster in the history of the franchise. How you want that? What crow? Oh, tomorrow we'll sing. Hurts back on pace for 4K. Don't worry. He ain't getting there. Hey, Dan, how do you troll your own chat tomorrow? You got to get, dude, whatever. Tomorrow we sing. 4 o'clock Eastern time, we sing. Hassan Reddick did get off the bus. I thought they did a nice job in pass rushing, too. I really do. I think they did a great job in pass rushing. He's going to get 4K? Nah. Leave it to Bills to spend 15 minutes on BS without saying he was wrong. Well, you guys showed up and you won against a good team. You guys said you're the best team in the league. Okay. I thought the Titans would win the game. They showed up and beat a good team. Well, that's what usually good teams do. Why do you sound so surprised? See, that's probably more so my problem. Good teams don't sit here on a Monday going, can you believe what we saw? When you watch good football teams, it's expected to win games. Check this out on a Monday here. I'm disappointed, and I'm sure everybody in Alabama is disappointed they're not in the Final Four. Because I guarantee you this, they set that up for that college football playoff. Xander, do you know why they wanted TCU? Because they didn't want Bama to win it again with 2 losses or 3 losses, whatever they got. Bama would have been favored over Michigan. Bama would have been favored over TCU. The only team in the Final Four that they wouldn't have been favored over would have been Georgia. How can you keep a team that you'd be favored? How can you keep a team like Alabama out of the Final Four when you know that they would be favored in Vegas? Okay? How in the world can that go down like that? All right, here. Let me just put it to you this way here. Very good game by Jalen Hurts. Jalen was great. Jalen, I agree with many of you guys out there. I think Jalen Hurts has, without a doubt, I think Jalen has closed the gap with Mahomes, and I think this is really going to be a very interesting stretch run down the finish line here to see who wins the most valuable player award. If I had to pick a guy right now to give my most valuable player award to, do you know what I would do? I don't know right now. I think it's pretty, and especially with the fact that Joey Burrow beat him. So I would sit here and say this honestly to you. As of last week, I would never have given Jalen Hurts my MVP award. Absolutely not. But after watching this past Sunday on what he did to a good Titans defense, and I think not great in the secondary, but I think what he's done all season long, being the versatile player that he is, Jalen Hurts is changing people's mentality and how you see him. There's no other quarterback in the NFL like him, okay? There isn't. He's not like any other guy in the NFL that has that kind of ability to be able to go for 153. Get this. This is what makes this crazy on how well Jalen's playing here. Jalen Hurts went for 153 last week, and now he turns around and he throws for 380 the next week. That is unbelievably difficult to defend because what it does is it gives the Eagle coaching staff the ability to attack your weakness with their quarterback. And that's exactly what the Eagles have been able to do. They're like a chameleon. Every single week, they look at, they saw the Titans and they went like this. We're not going to beat that team running the ball. And we're not going to sit here and turn this into a football game that has to be a close game in the second half when we can throw the ball on this team. Finally played a full game. Ken, I think they played their best game since Minnesota, in my opinion. I think they played their best football game. I'm talking the Eagles. That was well coached. I thought Jonathan Gannon, again, is Jonathan Gannon. I thought the players really did a great job. You saw that they were loading up the box, and you saw that they were playing close to the line of scrimmage, not allowing Derrick Henry to get going, and they were going to make Tannehill win that game. And that's exactly what they tried to do. And they knew that they didn't have really anybody but the kid Burks. I don't know if the kid Burks, outside that TD catch he had, I don't know if he came back to the game, but in my opinion, there's no way they were going to beat them with that wide receiving core. Secondary played well. Everybody. Okay? Hurts would have had 450 yards, 4 TDs, and 5 touchdowns. Big Sills, how about that defensive line? Steven, they played really well. And I really thought, too, also, you want to put this in there? There was a Nakobe Dean sighting. I actually didn't think he played bad. I thought he got in there, and I thought he played pretty decently. And I thought he made some plays. He made a couple plays over on the sideline. I thought he really played well. I mean, I think he had about 15 snaps from what I counted. I thought he played well. Jimmy Jinks hurt again. That's your guy. Yes, sir. Oh, crushing Jimmy Garoppolo. But you know, Joseph, what makes the Niners so good? They still kill teams. They still kill teams. That's what makes that 49er team good. By the way, your defense is not better than the Niners. But the Eagles have the most complete team, as I said. Okay, special teams showed up. We'll see if it's a one-of, or we'll see if this happens week after week now. I guess maybe they had a come-to-Jesus conversation. 49ers have a better defense, and the Cowboys are a better pass-rushing team than you. See here. Jacoby had a nice tackle for a loss, followed the ball well. He did really well, Razor. I thought he played well. Sills, you think they played Dean because they watch your show? Of course they do. Hi, everyone at the Nova Care Center. It just seems every time we say something here, they do it the following Sunday. I love it. I hope the Cowboys give the Eagles those same opportunities they have been giving. Hurts only needs 1,040 yards in 5 games. Never get it. Ever. Kaiser White got hurt. Chalk it up sports. Was it a serious injury? I didn't see that. I missed that. Is White hurt? Like, could he be missing some time? I hope not. Hurts for MVP, Sileo. Well. Oh, no, Nick. I'll never lose my credibility because you know why? I have an MVP vote. My vote matters. That's why. It's not stated that it was serious yet. I hope it's not, because Kaiser's really had a great year. I'm sorry if I skipped your super chat. I never miss them, and if we did, we apologize. See, it's moving awful fast here. Eagles. Hey, Sills, you said we have the opportunity. Here we go. Keep bringing the truth, Sills. You're the only one. Ken, thank you. That's all I'm doing here. Hurts only needs 1040 yards for 4K. Never ever happen. Ever. Okay? Jalen's playing great, though. I'll tell you this. Can I make a statement about Jalen Hurts here? Chalk it up sports. Mark this day down, December 5th. I have never seen a quarterback in my time go from what he was a year ago to this year since Lamar Jackson. Oh, Lamar got hurt? No. A running quarterback got hurt? No. Say it ain't so. But I have not seen anybody have this kind of improvement. This has been remarkable. Okay? This has been remarkable. His improvement is off the charts. He really did. When I talked to Tom House 2 weekends ago, and he goes, Sills, I knew it when I saw it. He was getting better and better in the practices with us when we were working on his throwing motion. Remember, I was one of the only guys that reported that Jalen had gone to Southern California and worked out with Tom Brady, and all of you guys said I was full of shit. Turns out it was true. Remember that, Xander? Chalk it up. Remember all that? I said he was spotted in Southern California working out with Tom House. And I talked to Tom. Tom goes, he was getting better every practice. Do you know what his problem was, Dan? He said, his feet. His feet were his problem. And we kind of did some technique work on his feet. And he still needs to improve when it comes to accuracy a little more, but he'll do that with reps. But what he started saying is that we worked on his feet the whole time. It wasn't working on the throwing motion. It was working on his balance in his feet in the pocket and on a rollout. And that's what House was working on him with. And it's definitely been an eye-opening thing to watch. Cowboys playing great ball. We'll get to the Cowboys here in a second. Now we get to the topics. Cowboys are playing better. I think they're playing better than Eagles. Eagles have it. Watch this. Here's the reality. Eagles have a better record because they've been the most consistent team outside of the Washington game of any team in the league. Every team in the league, from the Chiefs to the Bills, have wobbled. The Eagles have really not wobbled. Even the Washington game, they still could have won that game, right? They still could have won that game. They wobbled. But the Eagles really haven't all year long. That's been probably one of the most impressive things about the Philadelphia Eagles this year, has been the fact that that football team has been able to string these games together in these 12 games like this, playing pretty consistent football. There's not a team in the league that's even, I would say this, to separate your guys from everyone else in the league, I don't think there's a team in the NFL. I don't think there's a team in the NFL that comes close in how you've played great every week. Now, you're going to run into teams, I think, in these 5-game stretches here. I don't know what Daniel Jones and the Giants can do, because you know what I'm going to say to you about Daniel Jones and the Giants this weekend? I really don't know. I mean, watch this. Do I feel comfortable going like this? The Giants can beat the Eagles? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do not look at Daniel Jones and go, even though he didn't play bad and they tied, actually helps the Cowboys. I just look at the New York Giants and go, I don't know. But them Cowboys, woo! Cowboys going to be a tough team for you. Not sure you beat them. And look at what they did to that Colts team, where you guys just flipped around the entire game. They destroyed that team. They put 54 on them. Woo! This year is the same as 17, other than Jalen playing at a higher level than Wentz. I do not believe that Jalen Hurts is playing at a higher level than Carson Wentz did in 17. I do not believe that. Okay, I do not. I think comparable. I think Jalen, in his own way, is having an MVP season the same way Wentz did. Okay? Wentz was more consistent throwing the ball, though. Every week, it wasn't running it, throwing it, running it. It was him going out there and winning games in the air. Okay? More of a traditional quarterback play in 17 than what this is. This is completely different. League will catch up to it like they do everything else. They'll catch up to this style. It won't be long. That's what those coordinators get paid for. And what will happen is, not only that, but you'll start losing players at different key positions, and you won't be the same team. Because you got to rely on that quarterback to do pretty much everything. Cowboys also lost to the Packers. We crushed them. Fair enough. I don't think you crushed the Packers. You beat them by 7. I don't think you crushed the Packers. That's not the game I watched. You crushed the Packers? Last possession game? I don't think that was crushing. It was a 7-point ball game. Crushed? That's not a word I'd use. You did give up 33, too, to them. Dak has thrown like 5 interceptions in 3 weeks. Hey, he put a 50-burger on the Colts, and they put a 40-burger on the Vikings. Crushed. I wouldn't use the word crushed. 7 points traditionally is not a crushed. I'm with you. 363 yards. He's crushing. Yeah. How about translating that to the scoreboard? That's what I'm talking about. Scoreboard. Who's better than the Eagles? I didn't say the Cowboys are better. I said they're playing better. There's a difference. The Cowboys are playing better. They're not better as a unit, and especially if Goddard gets. I don't know. I don't believe Goddard's going to be back for that game. But there's a conversation at the NovaCare Center that, guess what? C.J. Gardner-Johnson might be back. He might be back for that. Could have easily scored 50 on the Titans. Maybe. Sil's trying to get one of those Jones Media. I don't even know what Jones Media is. Sil's trying to get, bro, you have me. I don't know what you're talking about. Goddard is back for Dallas. That'll be huge. W2, where did I bash Jalen? He played spectacular. 380, 3 touchdowns. He managed the game. He went to, for the first time in his career, got 2 wide receivers going. That's the first game in Jalen Hurts' career that he's got 2 wide receivers going at the same time. Congratulations to him. That's why they do listen to the show. Because it's usually one or the other. It's never 2. It was 2 in this game. Very good. Oh, and now Devonta has his 4th. Explain this style. You're insinuating about Jalen look like a drop back passer, 380 passing yards. Well, he can't do that every week. He won't be able to do that. He doesn't do that every week. He can't. It's not what he does. Hurts was a pocket passer yesterday, not an RPO. Yeah, that's right. But he's not going to sit back there and win games for you consistently. It's not what he does. There's no shame in that. Jalen Hurts is doing something. Jalen Hurts is an MVP, not because of his passing accolades. He's an MVP because he's versatile. You know it and I know it. He's an MVP. Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate, not because he's a great thrower or a spectacular runner. He's an MVP candidate because he does both at a high level that no one else in the league does right now. And is he smarter than Lamar? Absolutely. Absolutely. Jalen Hurts thinks his way around the football field as good as anybody in the league. I'll put this point out there to you, and I'll make this point about Jalen. I don't know if there's any smarter quarterback out there. I would put him in the conversation with Tom Brady when it comes to how he thinks his way around a game plan. I'm comfortable saying that. I would compare Jalen Hurts to Tom Brady and how he executes a game plan. He executes a game plan as well as Tom Brady has ever. He sticks to it. He understands it. He knows weaknesses of the opposing team. Do you understand the study work that he goes into when he prepares for a team? And I'm talking Jalen. That's why Brady made some comments about him last week. Okay? He made some comments about him on how he thinks himself around a football field. And I'm going to say this one more time to you, and I'm comfortable saying this. Jalen Hurts executes a game plan as well as any quarterback that's in the game, including Tom Brady. He can throw for 380 every week. No, he can't. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not can he throw for 380 every week. King Arthur stole King Henry's throne last night. They did a great job in stopping the run. They really did. Jalen Hurts has a lot of qualities in executing a game plan. And sometimes, folks, you can have the talent of Jay Cutler, and Jay Cutler couldn't think himself out of a swimming pool. Jalen Hurts thinks himself around a football game and around a game plan. And I wouldn't even go far to say this. I think Jalen Hurts is probably involved in the game plan more than people think. They probably go to him, Shane Steichen and those guys, they probably go to him and say, what plays do you think will work in this football game? Okay? What do you think works for you in this game? I think Jalen does as much homework, and I think Jalen does as much study as Tom Brady does. Okay? I'm comfortable saying that. Now, again, different styles, different ways of winning a ball game. Clearly, Tom Brady and Jalen Hurts are night and day, right? Night and day, and how you execute a game plan. Still, the end result is winning. Yeah, chalk it up sports. Jalen's a student of the game. He completely has put that on display. Of all the things that have been the most impressive thing to me in this 12-game run, it's Jalen Smarts. That's one of the smartest quarterbacks I've seen in a long time. Absolutely. Isn't it great when we're talking about versatile quarterbacks? We're also talking about brains first instead of saying athleticism first. Jalen Hurts starts with smarts instead of athleticism. The Jalen Hurts game plan? Sure. Now, I still would say this to you. That style, to me, chalk it up and everyone, I'm going to make it to you right here. Until I see someone win a Super Bowl with that, I don't believe it's fun to watch. It's good to look at. You don't win Super Bowls with that style. Michael Vick couldn't. And Jalen Hurts is not better than Michael Vick. He's not. He's never been. Now, is he smarter than Vick? Yes. Does he know where to go with the ball more? Yes. That could be the difference. Remember what Vic said when he got to Philly? Vic said that he didn't really know how to execute a game plan until he got to Andy Reid. Maybe that was the undoing of Vic, was that he never took the preparation of the game plan serious. Whereas Jalen, every time he goes into a game, takes the game plan serious, and that's where it starts with him. So, Hurts has done so many good things this year. Has he improved in passing? Yeah. Has he improved in his knowledge of the game? Absolutely. I think that's his biggest asset improvement, has been an understanding of the game plan. Plus, I got to give the coaching staff credit. Shane Steichen, I'll tell you this, man. Shane Steichen is going to become a head football coach somewhere. That guy has tailored that offensive game plan to an RPO coach or to an RPO player. Has been incredible. Shane Steichen is the most underrated coach on that coaching staff. I'm going to make a point to you. Let's do this. Let me add this up here. Xander, correct me if I'm wrong. That team started 2-5 last year, right? 2-5. They're 11-1 this year. Then they went on they won 7. They were 7. So you're telling me now that he is 18-4 since he's been the offensive coordinator when he took over at 2-5? 18-4, Shane Steichen as the offensive coordinator of the Eagles. He's 18-4. Somebody around the league has to look at that, especially with a lot of these RPO kids coming out of college, and maybe they're getting a shot. Shane Steichen, since the play calling duties, and by the way, Nick Sirianni's involved with it. I see him on the sidelines. He's involved with the game plan. But Shane Steichen's 18-4. Tailoring an offense around Jalen Hurts' strengths and weaknesses has been freaking maybe one of the most important things. By the way, this just in. Hey, offensive line, maybe if you're not worried about putting out a Christmas album, you'll be more focused and stopping that pre-snap penalties and get your shit together. You're on the cusp of doing something special. Try not to fuck it up. Okay? Don't get distracted. Super Bowl shuffle stuff, there's no, do you really, we'll see. Stay focused, guys. You're on the cusp of doing something great. Don't get distracted with dumb shit. You got an entire offseason for that. You got an entire offseason for that stuff. Christmas album. I know Jeff Stoutland wasn't happy about it. It was reported he wasn't. What are you guys doing here? Guarantee they read the riot act to them today. Pre-snap penalties, the way they did, the holding penalties. I think Lane had 3. Some of you are going like this. Why are you picking on that? Because the little things matter now when you're 11-1. The little things matter. Little things matter now. You're on the cusp of doing something special. Act like it. Act like it. And again, I get it. You want to have a fun time. You want the environment to be fun. I get that. Don't make a habit of being dumb. The Eagle O-line played a dumb game. And get this, they're so good, they still dominated. Not so much in the run game, but they didn't have to. They could have did anything at will. They could have arm wrestled those guys. By the way, Jeffrey Simmons, I thought beat up Jason Kelce. I thought he beat him up in the run game. How many holding penalties that guy get? 3? I thought Simmons beat him up. He got beat up. Okay, watch the film. Watch the 22. You'll see it. Stood him up. Philly signed Trey Turner. Wow. Whoa, boy, are they. Dave Dombrowski's playing for real. Big Sills, is it fair to say that your belief that the Eagles will win in spite of Jalen rather than because of Jalen was wrong? Bob, they're winning now because of Jalen. Okay? I think that style is limited. Cam Newton, Colin Kaepernick, Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson. I think it's who it is. I think it's what it is. Those guys have never won. Jalen's going to have to break the ceiling and the glass ceiling on this for me to sit there and say that will work. Every one of these quarterbacks. Again, I watched Joe Burrow versus Patrick Mahomes. It's like watching the SEC versus the Big Ten when I watch an Eagle game. When I watch the Eagles, it's like watching Michigan. When I watch Patrick Mahomes and I watch those guys play, it's a whole different banana when you're watching them guys play. Steve, I apologize about taking you off topic, but think about the Turner deal. That's incredible. Incredible. Dave Dombrowski, man, is not usually known for that kind of shit, too. And he signed his ass and put him in there. That's incredible. And to me, I still think they need another starter. I'd like to have seen Verlander go there instead, you know? Sills Titans didn't stop the run game. Philly barely attempted the run. Okay, well, no. T-Car, what they decided to do was they knew that they were number 3 in the NFL in run stopping, and they knew that they were going to be able to do that. So they knew the secondary, especially when that corner got hurt, they attacked it. I thought Devonta ran a really good bunch of routes out there too, and Jalen found him. Okay? Jalen found him. Geno Smith played absolutely fantastic ball yesterday. We'll talk more about that in a little bit as well. Mets signed Verlander today. I saw that too, and I saw DeGrom go somewhere too. Dan, heard an interesting take on TV this morning. Baker Mayfield to the Niners. I think they may claim him, but he's got to go through waivers. And the only reason that he may land in San Francisco, Baker Mayfield, is because the 49ers put a claim in him. Now, remember, if you claim him, you have to pick up the current contract. The Browns are paying the majority of it, and Carolina's paying the other half of it. So it would be prorated out. But I do think if he lands in the position where the 49ers are, Niners might pick him up and put him in the position to be the quarterback there in San Francisco. What do I think he would bring? I don't know what he would bring to the table there, too. DeGrom to the Rangers. That's right. That's what it is. Hey, you go to Texas, tax-free state. You don't have to worry about income tax. Probably one of the reasons also that he went there. Rangers are notorious for paying deals like this. Hurts is becoming a better passer. He is. And he studies the game more than any of those quarterbacks you mentioned. Can you see it? K. Robinson, I surely do. Sills, that's terrible what happened to Jimmy G. Ryan, especially in the fact that he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. Greg 6 sacks was absolutely spectacular for the Eagle defensive front 7. Eagles are Big Ten. What's Dallas? Southeastern Conference. The quarterback played in the SEC. He plays like it too. I don't think Baker would bring shit to the Niners. I agree with you. I hope they sign Baker. He's a cancer. Way to go, Danny. Here's the topic now. Are the Eagles the best team in the NFL, or they own the best record? What teams would I put in the conversation of the best teams in the NFL, who would be in the Big Sil's bubble of teams that can win a Super Bowl this year? Chiefs, Eagles, how about this? I'll rephrase that because I said I don't believe you can win a Super Bowl with that style that Hurts has. Teams that can get to the Super Bowl. Chiefs, Eagles, Bills. Do I believe that the Vikings can get to the Super Bowl? No. Do I believe the Bengals can? Yes, they have. The big $24 million question now. Do I believe the Cowboys can get there to the Super Bowl? That I don't know right now. What would make me think this year would be, and you know what? If I'm being fair to you guys, okay, and I'm being fair, when I say that Jalen's style is something, again, it's a preference. It's a style preference thing here, okay? If I'm saying that, how can I sit here and go like this on a Monday? Yeah, I think the Cowboys can win a Super Bowl when every single December and every single year, that football team lays an egg and blows a gasket in the opening round. Okay? Why did Jimmy G get hurt? He's a pocket passer. Because he had his ankle stepped on. He broke his foot. Happens. Okay? We're not talking about taking hits. He broke his foot. People break their foot. I don't know. You're right, guy. Carrying the ball 30, 40 times in a couple weeks. You're right. There's no chance he'll get hurt like Lamar Jackson. Well, Lamar got hurt in the pocket. Lamar got hurt in the pocket for the things that I told you about last week. Remember I told you this? Watch this. Whether you're in the pocket, outside the pocket, the nail's going to break. You keep getting hit, it keeps getting weak. 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 In the pocket, out of the pocket. Doesn't matter. The more you get hit, the weaker you become. Have you ever seen a freaking boxing match? How many times have you seen guys get knocked out with lesser punches and you go, how'd he get knocked out? Because he'd been beat up for 10 rounds. Doesn't matter. In the pocket. Shows me the ignorance sometimes of people and how you watch a ball game. And I don't understand what it goes into playing a position. It's about the pounding. You could have a gratuitous out-of-the-pocket sprint out, get hit barely, and get this, get a concussion. You know why? Because Tua's had 10 of them. It's about the consistent pounding in the sport. Get a clue. Get a clue. You guys think these guys roll into these games healthy? There's not a play. You think Jalen's healthy right now? How many people think Jalen's probably at 85% right now? That's every guy. What do you think Dickerson is right now in the season? 75? Mulata's playing 75% all year. Half these guys, there's not a guy on the field playing at 100%. Every time I see people post that shit on my Twitter, I laugh at you. There's not a player today playing in the NFL after 12 weeks that's 100% healthy. Get a clue. Yeah, Ken, 75% is full health today. No one is fully healthy. Completely. Right, 75% is fully healthy. But the consistent pounding is what I'm talking about. How many times have you seen guys, like I said, get hit, and they get hit, and all of a sudden you're like, holy cow, man, that guy went down with that? Well, it was about the 70 other hits that he had. Constantly getting banged up. Terrence, I saw that Cowboy 54 spot. So here, and by the way, I can't say the Cowboys can win the Super Bowl because you know why? I got to do the same thing that I do with Jalen Hurts and his style of play. I haven't seen anybody win the Super Bowl with that style of play. So I'm not going to sit there and say they can win it, but do I think they can get there? I predicted Bills and Eagles. I'm still sticking to it. But when someone asks me, Dan, do you think the Dallas Cowboys can get to Glendale? I'm going to have to say this today on December 5th. No. Some would go, but they're playing great ball. You just said it. They are. But for whatever reason, they get into the postseason and they lay a colossal egg. That's who they are. It's what they've been for 30 years. Until they prove it differently and they win significant games in the... How many postseason wins does Tony Romo and Dak Prescott have combined? 2? That's 20-some-odd years of football. Why would I change today and go, well, the Cowboys can win the Super Bowl? Why would anybody in their right mind say that? Dallas fans, they love their team, but they're delusional. You've got to do something like Jalen Hurts is doing to change a narrative on a style or on a situation. The Eagles can win a Super Bowl. You know why? Because there's guys in that locker room that have. And I'll tell you what, the style that Jalen has, I may not be a fan of, but I'll tell you what I'm really a fan of his, on the way he approaches the game and his smarts to the game. That's what I'm a fan of. Hurts is one of the smartest quarterbacks I've seen in a long time. Jalen's a really smart guy, man. His smarts are carrying him afar. Like Brady. Watch this. Aaron Rodgers is by far a better talented quarterback than Tom Brady. But who's a smarter quarterback? Well, the evidence is in the results. Brady was 10 times the quarterback that Aaron Rodgers was. His production proves that. His resume proves that. But Rodgers was more skilled at throwing the ball. And that's my point when I'm making that sometimes a guy could think his way into a position to win a game that matters the most. Jalen's had so many ups and downs in his career. He's had so many ups and downs. And I think he's all applied it. Jalen Hurts is not Steve Young. Don't go psycho on us. Don't go crazy. When Young retired, Young was the most proficient and most accurate passer in the history of the league, percentage-wise. He's not going to be that guy. Okay? Well, you could say the same thing you could say about the Eagles are not playing anybody either. So, okay. Goddard, Maddox, C.J. Gardner, still to return with players stepping up and stronger for the postseason, especially, Sydney, if you get into the position where you get the bye. Jalen is definitely smart. Big Sills, going to the U, Kelly, Kozar, Testaverde, Walsh might make it hard for you to really appreciate Jalen. I never thought of that, Bob. Bob, I never thought of that. Because you're right. I'm from the school of Jim Kelly, Bernie Kosar, and quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls and that are Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And I played with Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Okay? Yeah, you're right. I'm a little jaded because and plus I played against Montana and Elway. Okay? I would never get Jalen Hurts confused with Montana, Marino, Elway, and maybe that's why I'm in my position where, oh man, get off my lawn kind of shit. Because at the end of the day, I played against Elway. I played against Marino. I played against Montana. I went to school with Kelly, Kozar, Testaverde, and all them guys. Okay, I saw what those quarterbacks did and how many games they won. You're right. And the quarterbacks that were the running quarterbacks got annihilated and had no ceiling and didn't last long. So you're right, that could be. How is Philly stopping the Cowboys' pass rushers? Well, they got some pretty good old linemen, my friend. Okay? They got some pretty good old linemen. Just to show you, too. They suck so bad in penalties, the Eagle O-line, they still were able to dominate the Titans' front seven, which is really a testament to them. There's no doubt Jeff Stoutland's in their ass, though. Okay? Sills will win a Pulitzer before the Cowboys win a Super Bowl. Dude, as much as I love the Jones family, as far as I'm concerned, as long as they own the team, they're not going to win a Super Bowl again. They're just not going to. Philiopolis, Lane didn't really have a great game. 3 holding penalties, illegal procedure. Wasn't the best game for Lane that I saw. Wasn't one of his better efforts as far as I'm concerned. And I thought Kelsey got stood up by Jeffrey Simmons a couple times in that game too. See, this is where you'll hear it versus other places where everyone else is waving pom-poms. I told you exactly what I watched on Sunday. Jalen Hurts was absolutely wonderful. The defense played great. I thought the front 7 had probably one of their better games of the year. Okay? I thought the coaching was better. And I think the special teams got their asses read a riot. I don't think there was any coaching difference. I think they told them, you're either going to do it, we're going to get people in here that will. Because I'll grab a guy off the street to have the same shitty effort like they had against Green Bay. You could grab anybody out of a phone booth and put them out there if you're going to put that effort out there. I don't think there was any coaching different. I don't think anybody said anything differently when it came to techniques and special teams. I think they told those guys, hey, either play. This is your only chance to stay on this fucking team. That's why I heard Barrett saying, coaches have to motivate. Fuck that. If I got to motivate a special teams guy, you're fired. You should be motivated. What this guy's talking about, we already stopped the rush. You didn't stop the rush. They stopped your rush too, dude. Okay? End of the day. I don't want guys on my special team that I got to coach. Watch this. Run down the field and kill someone. Run down the field, knock someone out. I don't know what coaching you need there. Keep in your lane, keep your lane integrity, and knock someone out. You either do it or you don't. How much coaching do you think's involved in that? Special teams is a will. You got to want to knock guys out. You got to want to hit people. You got to want to stretch guys out. I got to coach you to do that? Wrong people on my special teams. Hit like you know. Dude, what other thing do you need? And I think that's what they did. I think they told those guys that. No, they stopped the rush. Jesus, Mike. English, okay? Try going back to school, kid. You didn't get 100 yards rushing. They threw the ball. You weren't going to run 100 yards on the Titans, and the Eagle coaching staff knew that. They stopped the run. End of the story. How many yards you have? 87. You didn't get 100 yards. They stopped the run. Oh, I know. Well, we didn't feel like running. Okay, because they knew you weren't going to run the ball. They knew they were susceptible to the passing game because the secondary with the Titans is thin. Titans did not stop the run. Yes, they did. 87 yards. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. You could take what they, right. K. Robinson, that's exactly what they did. They knew that the Titans were weak in the secondary, and they attacked it. That's the beautiful thing that I'm saying to you about what the offense has been in the last 2 weeks. Let's look at that. You guys are looking at 60 minutes of football. I'm looking at 120 minutes of football. Last week, you went for 153 with your quarterback. This week, you went for 380. Jesus Christ. Do you know how hard that is to defend? Do you know how hard that is to defend? They didn't stop the run. Well, we'll never know, will we? You're under 100 yards. I'll say they stopped the run. You can fantasize about it. $54. I saw it, man. Dak looked great. Woo! Did Dak look good, man? Week 3 of the NFL. The playoff picture. Man. Damn. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, I got to sing the Eagle fight song. By the way, Big Sills has only bet against you twice this year. Vikings in this game. And by the way, the Giants, I don't know. Okay? I don't know. If I get 4K, that should let. Hey, if Jalen Hurts, Jalen, oh man, everybody, he's gonna be right around 3,900. Yes, sir, baby. What do you got the Giants this week? Yeah, he'll throw for about 140. Please pick the Cowgirls. I don't know yet. We have to wait and see as we get closer to that game. 9-3, 11-1. Hey, that's what I asked the question. Can we stop the run now? Question answered. Yeah. It's been 3 games. You weren't superstars against the Packers, but yeah. And then the week previous that, and then this. Yeah. Yeah. Anton, it's 3 games. That's a trend. It's 3 games. That's a trend. Yeah. It's not a one-of. I'll tell you one thing too, for sure. Are you guys buying this with me? Is it me, or is Fletcher Cox played a little bit better since Dominic Sue showed up? I mean, hey, is it me? You think that Dominic Sue's kind of like sparked Fletcher a little bit? You think he sparked him a bit? Only thing, JM, I've been wrong on is 2-4, baby. Oh, this is shaping up. I got another topic too, and plus the playoff picture here. Holy cow. This is shaping up to be an incredible season for the Eagles. You're 12 games in. This take, it's all or nothing. Hit the like button. Hour 2, Gary Cobb, Fox 29 at the bottom of the hour, 4:30 Eastern. Keep it here on the National Football Show.